Hello and welcome back to the Blues Focus
Sorry.
podcast. What's so funny about that?
Sorry. The animation happened and Tommy, you were absolutely staring into my soul.
Well, that's how people record, isn't it?
Sorry.
You don't get presenters like that. Yeah. Alright, how's it going? Yeah.
Sorry.
What were you expecting him to turn around and go Wagwan lethal dizzles? Big Tommy in the house.
I don't know. I just didn't expect it to be staring that intently.
Oh,
man. Right,
Cut.
sorry. Apologies.
Welcome to the Blues Focus podcast, Zach. Tonight I'm joined with Jamie. How you doing, bud?
Hey, yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
And Zach as well, who has
Yeah.
introduced himself by laughing his head off at me.
Yeah, sorry, that was funny, but I'm good. I'm a bit disappointed after yesterday. I'm sure you all are, but
Another defeat, eh? Not great.
not just a defeat, but a bit of a stinker, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a great day, really. I mean, it tops off by the fact that I only saw about half of the game, really, as well, due to terrible traffic yesterday. We'll get into that. But you may be aware of the current new look to this podcast. We've decided to use a different software, which has given this very good-looking studio suite that we've got now for the look of it all.
Cheers, mate.
So, yeah, I wasn't talking about you, Jamie. So don't think about it. We don't need that ego on this podcast, alright? We don't need it, alright? Yeah. But yeah, this intro has been absolutely fucking shit.
Absolutely
So-
shit out of an intro.
Shall we start again?
No, we're carrying on. This is already fucking funny. But yeah, this is the new look to the podcast. We're going to be introducing a new question segment as well, which we'll be doing later on. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this sort of newish episode. It's the first one of the new year. No, it isn't. It's the second one in the new year. My bad. I forgot about the one we did a couple of days ago. But yeah, this is the new look to the podcast now. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and hopefully you guys enjoy the episode as well. So let's get straight in to Middlesbrough. Bloody hell! It was quite an entertaining watch yesterday, but it wasn't a win. You know, and we didn't even get points as well. That was the really frustrating thing, because it did look like we were going to get points at one point.
Yeah, it was awful, wasn't it? It was first half. Obviously, you missed Tommy, but I think you'll agree, Jamie, in saying it was very nondescript. No real chances for either side. No team could really keep hold of the ball. Second half, I thought we'd come out battling, looking like a different team. We had that opportunity, we had that Bielik header right before Middlesbrough's first goal, didn't we? Which would have completely changed the game. But yeah, I'd say we had 10-15 minutes of good football yesterday after Middlesbrough's second goal. Other than that, it was another poor performance. That's 3 on the bounce, battered by Burnley, lost to Hull, who are not having the best season, but are now above us. Obviously a loss yesterday, so yeah, things aren't looking too good.
Anything to add to that, Jamie?
No, but if the wonderful Birmingham fan who was sat behind me yesterday is listening to this, you're a knob. I literally was sat and I had the world's most negative fan I have ever witnessed behind me. Like, poor Jukovic must have won about 8 headers in the first half and took the ball down with fuck all running around him. So he kept losing the ball, and then this guy behind me was like, Jukovic is shit, and he's passed out. I was like, oh my god, like, how
dare we disrespect Jukovic like that?
Someone's just been called out on the Blues Focus podcast. Wow.
Honestly,
First of many, I presume.
No, it's one of them. Middlesbrough are a class team. You know, they knock the ball about so nicely at times. Obviously, injuries aren't helping us at the minute. But like I actually said to you, Tommy, that game was screaming for a Lecco start. If you're going to do Uke up top, that's fine. But a Lecco, like he came off the bench yesterday, he was fantastic. That energy is what you need at the minute.
Who started up front? Was it Jong and Dean?
Hannibal.
It was Hannibal and Duke.
Right.
Hannibal played up front.
Wow. Yeah, that's why I think you're right with that, Jamie. It should have been Lecco, because you know he when he came on he was great. You know he made the chances for us again, really, which is what he should have been doing for a long period of time at the Blues, really, because you know there's obviously a lot of potential in him still to do really well. Which has frustrated me with Lecco, really. But, you know, these last 2 games he's came on, I feel like he probably deserves to start next game. You know,
His
against
goal's
Forest
coming.
Green.
I'm telling you,
definitely
he'll
is.
be one of them players. He'll score one. He'll get some confidence about him.
Yeah, he's a massive confidence player. I mean, we can all see that, can't we? Like I presume, like as soon as he does get one, he will be like, back in his form. Really, it's kind of like Hogan as well. Like when he
Yeah.
doesn't have that confidence, he's stone dead bottom of everything. You just can't get him going. But one goal and then he can just be flying like he was earlier this season.
Yeah.
Speaking of, hurry back, Scott.
I know.
Yeah, we need it back.
We honestly, it's no coincidence though. As soon as the injuries have started, that we've started performing poorly. That's George Hall. That's Scott Hogan. I mean, Gary Gardner's been injured for ages. Roberts probably now injured, and I know. To be fair, I want to touch on Roberts quickly because I don't know what you guys think. Roberts has been getting a lot of hate recently. I think defensively, Roberts hasn't put too much of a foot wrong. It's his long passing, which is extremely frustrating. Against Hull, right, defensively, Roberts didn't do anything wrong. I'm telling you, Roberts didn't do anything. Defensively, he made no errors. He was fine. Yesterday,
Not even for the second, not even for the goal.
For the whole...
He let
for
your
the
man
whole
in front.
goal. He did,
Remind me
yeah.
of the goal.
Well, it goes down the right-hand side with their player and he cuts it in and they're sort of very close together, but the player manages to get his foot round him and it goes in at the near post.
Yeah. Where Bakuna thought he was playing FIFA Street for a fucking second in his own half.
No, I wouldn't put that on Roberts.
No, I wouldn't put the tackle. I wouldn't put obviously the possession losing is obviously Bakuna's issue, but I don't know. It just felt a bit weak. I mean, it's difficult, obviously. Like some players do just get ahead of you sometimes, but it's. I feel like I agree with you, Zach, because it's like he's sort of public enemy number one at the moment, isn't he? Because if he makes one mistake, it is in that way, isn't he? It's like
don't
before.
Get me wrong. Go on, Tommy.
Well, it's just before it was Dean, wasn't it? Everybody was calling out Dean for things in previous seasons. But, now that it's the other way around, isn't it? Now that Mark Roberts is getting all the abuse for it, which is unfair, really. He gave away one goal against Hull. He was a little bit sloppy in the Burnley game. But, like me and you said, actually, Jamie, that he's not a very good footballer. But the thing is, he can do, he is very good at it. He's a good old-fashioned centre-back, isn't he?
And that's what I don't mind about Roberts at times. What infuriates me, that you brought it up yourself, Zach, it's when he's trying to ping the ball out wide like he can. Like yesterday was perfect example of it. You've got Lucas fucking Jukovic. Just kick the ball that way. Just boot the ball up, man.
I agree. I think defensively Roberts is fine. I'm happy with Roberts as at the back as a placeholder while players are injured. But those long passes are infuriating because they'll either go out of play or they won't go to the right player. And I tell you what was really annoying me yesterday as well, and I mean really annoying me, was the short corners. The amount of times we take a short corner. Just get it in the box. I don't mind, like, mistakes happen in football, right? They're frustrating, but they happen. Taking a short corner repeatedly and it not working over and over again, it's just pure stupidity, honestly.
I lost my head because of that. Was it when we were 2-1 as well? Oh, I'm getting Christmas pod vibes here. I'm coughing again. Sorry, guys. Like yesterday, I think it was at the point where it was 2-1 and we had a corner. We took it short and just dissolved into fuck all. And literally in my head, I'm going, you've got Uke, Deeney, Lecco, Christian Bielik, George Friend, like Austin Trusty. You've got 5 big bastards there to whip the ball into, and you're trying to do some fucking short bullshit.
It's ridiculous. I was getting so frustrated. Like I said, mistakes happen in football. That's a part of the game. But when you try something over and over and over again, it's just not working. That's not a mistake. That's not an error. That's just pure stupidity. So that was immensely frustrating yesterday, especially the one I got really riled with is, we went short. I think Lecco then played it back to Chong, and Chong just heavy touch out of play. So, that was frustrating. And small tweaks like that, the stuff like that just needs to change because it's so simple, isn't it?
Honestly, it looks like we're just going to have to... And don't get me wrong, right, I know a lot of Birmingham fans do this. I'm not a football manager. I do not have qualifications, so I'm not telling Mr. Eustace how to do his job. But we're just going to have to go back to fucking basics. Yuki said it himself yesterday, we need to be hard to beat again. Just full send a 34-4-2 sometimes if we've got the squad depth to do it. Just do it, because Jordan Graham, bless him, awful.
Yeah. It's annoying as well because the short corner that we took for the goal, eventually we just scored from the corner, didn't we? Like when we crossed it in.
I wouldn't contribute our goal yesterday to the short corner. Like the goal
No.
came like a minute or two after the short corner. It had nothing to do with the short corner. Just stop the short corners and get it in. We're a big side. We got some tall, strong players in that Blues team. Just get it in the box, honestly.
It's so infuriating. Why have the height you've got in that team and not use it?
I know. I completely agree with you. I mean, who is our tallest player? Is it Trusty? I imagine.
Bielis.
Bielik.
Or Bielik, yeah.
Might be. I don't know.
Bielik's huge.
I think
Apart
Bielik
from Mark
is
Roberts,
actually,
I'd say.
Yeah, they're both 6'4", aren't they? I think because I know
Probably
Mark
John
Roberts
Ruddy,
is.
actually.
Yeah. He's definitely
Get John Ruddy in the box.
forward because he's, he nearly got the header. He got the header in against Hull in the last minute, didn't he? That would have been scenes if he'd have found the back
I
of the
would
net
have
with that.
walked home star ballot naked. I don't
I know,
even care.
you keep on saying that. I don't want that image in my mind. All right, Jamie, fucking hell.
I got the impression you want to do it, Jamie, with the way you're bringing it up. I won't lie.
But if you want to just
When I saw
do
him
it, do
jump for the
it.
I saw him jump for the header and my shirt was like, what?
Fucking come on! Oh man, it's just something I don't want to see. Oh man.
Yeah.
So what did we make to the overall performance yesterday, and how do we sort of translate that into the rest of the season?
I mean, overall performance was very. It was poor. Like we've lost games this season and drawn games this season where we've played well, and there are genuine positives to take.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Burnley and Hull, there were none. It's all just been terrible. I've said it a few times prior, but football changes so quickly.
Literally,
a few weeks ago we were talking about our potential playoff push, potential top half of the table push. We're now talking about we could get pulled into a relegation scrap. It could be a fight for survival. But whilst we're in bad times again, football changes quickly. We could, in a few wins' time, we could be up there again. So football changes so quick. Try not to be too reactionary. Overall, I think we've had a decent start to the season, or a decent season so far. We're about midway now, but at the moment, certainly these last 3 games, it's been poor. But hopefully, we can still sort of end up mid-table if we can.
Yeah, I completely agree. Do you think the break has not helped us, Jamie?
I think if they would have got some players back and fucking fitness, it would have helped. But obviously, Gary's still out, Scott's still out, Roberts is now out, Harley's out.
I think Hogan's back for the next game in the FA Cup, though, I think. I think that's what I read.
Forest Green.
I think
Do not start him.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve to start, that's for sure, because, well, sorry, let me rephrase that. He shouldn't start because you don't want to get him injured again, of course.
I'm not having another
And also,
Gary Gardner against Norwich.
Particularly, yeah, that's exactly my thought process, that is, because he can come on, go into one challenge, and he's back out for the next few weeks. Because we don't know what injury he's got, really, because I've not seen any reports of what injury he has, actually. It's not like with Gardner, who's got, like, some sort of back injury, I think it is, or is it a ligament injury, actually? I don't know, because, like...
I don't know.
I don't really know much about the Blues anymore. It's like such a vague sort of... It's like with Sanderson.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what's wrong with him?
No.
I think it's hamstring.
Oh, is it?
It's like
Something
we
like
don't
that,
know,
6
do we?
weeks.
Because
No.
we know that, but like in terms of what his injury is,
Yeah.
nothing is there.
If you read the match previews they often do on their website, it will say injury list, and it's every time it's very, very brief. It will say the player and can play this week. In terms of your last question, Tommy, I think the break came at a terrible time, and I think I said that. In fact, I definitely said that prior to the World Cup. The break has come for the worst time because we were doing so well, great momentum. All of a sudden, the players don't play football for a month. It's off. It's stopped. It's tricky because you lose. You don't lose your skill, but you certainly lose the momentum you were carrying and how well you were playing as a team. And individually, you probably you're well rested, yes, but you're not as used to playing football. So it came at a terrible, terrible time for us, and it's heavily damaged us. I think the rest of the season now will be determined by this transfer window, who comes, who goes, etc., etc. I think, this transfer window will determine where we finish in the league.
Well, conveniently, we have some questions sent in by you guys at home from
Jamie
talking
don't
about.
Want to hear them. He's walked on.
No, he's not interested, as he's gone like fuck this shit, mouth. We'll wait for him to come back, is it?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Can you do the thing where you put them at the bottom of the screen?
Yes, I can do that. I'll put
That
them
is
up in there.
banging, that is. This is so cool. I actually love this.
So
It's
sorry,
wicked,
guys.
isn't it?
I've got a runny nose, and I don't want like the whole of the Blues focus to watch me wiping my nose on camera. I don't think it's a nice
We
view for
thought you
anyone.
got bored and just walked off.
I could eat.
Fed up,
I've got
fed up with these wankers. I'm fucking done with them. So going off your thing there, Zach saying about the win. It's rude.
I wasn't on mute.
Lovely stuff.
This podcast has been fucking terrible in terms of
Bloody
professionalism,
hell.
lads.
I know, he's been horrendous. This
I
was
thought I
so
was
fun.
on mute. I'm so sorry.
That's going in, alright? That's for your mistake, that is. That's going in. All of you going,
That's too funny. Oh. Honestly, if you're eating your dinner.
God's sake, man.
That's too
Right.
funny, man. That's too
Questions from the fans. John Fletcher here. He asks, if you were given £7 million in the transfer window to spend on the squad, what would you do with it? Who would you bring in? I'll ask that to you, Zach, first, obviously, because you were sort of touching on that a little bit there.
7 million. That's a very specific number. 7 million. I like it. 7 million to spend in a transfer window. It's tricky. The perfect players to bring in. You know, I was gutted we didn't get this player. You know, Brandon Thomas Asante for
Yes.
West Brom. Those are, for a club like us and most Championship clubs, the golden players. Like players who are fairly cheap, probably have a release clause at their clubs, are doing well in League 1 or 2. Who would I bring in though? £7 million. I wonder if we can talk about keeping current loan players, because £7 million, I'd probably look to keep Bielik with that money. I think if there was one player of the loans we could keep, I'd want it to be Bielik. So yeah, I'd like to see us. We were rumoured with someone from Portsmouth as well, someone called,
Yes.
what's his name? Mills?
It
Or
might
I
have
made
been,
that
yeah.
up completely. I can't remember.
I know
But
what you
again, I like those kind of signings. Youngster, you know, maybe goes a bit under the radar given the league he's in, but could perform at Championship level. But if I had 7 million to spend, I'd look to keep as many of the loan players we've got as possible.
Yeah. Similar sort of question. We've got a few transfer window questions, actually. We've got this one from the FPL Blue Nose. That's this one to you, Jamie. What are the 3 positions you would prioritise in this transfer window, and any examples you would want to see?
Centre back, left fucking back.
Left fucking back.
Maybe another striker.
I agree with those, yeah.
I think in terms of right wing back, we're okay. We don't even have to go into left wing back after yesterday. I'm just going to quietly allow it and move on. And I think just rotation up front.
I want to mention it quickly. I do want to mention it quickly because I know you're not a fan of Longolo, and I genuinely love Longolo, right? But I love him. I think he's going forward. Longolo is superb. He is brilliant. Yesterday as well, on the left hand side when he came on, we looked so much more dangerous. Longolo needs to play higher up. You're right, Jamie. He needs to be in a left mid, left wing role. I think before the team was announced yesterday, I was praying for a 4-4-2 with Longolo at left mid. It needs to happen because he's a very, very talented footballer going forward. And defensively, you're right, Jamie. He's not quite it. So, but sorry, go on. I just wanted to bring up my man Longolo.
No, yeah, you did say the 3 positions. I would just like to add one to that. Maybe goalkeeper, or is that one a bit too... The only thing, because I think of because we obviously financially, and Etheridge has had some poor games for us last season, but in terms of if we need to play him, if Roddy suddenly gets injured, then we're obviously going to need a goalkeeper. But if just financially, if we can't play him because of his wage increase after a certain amount of games, would it be worth looking at a backup goalkeeper to potentially bring in?
We got G-Cock.
That is true. I think I'm happy with Etheridge on the bench as well, to be honest. I think Etheridge is a decent backup keeper to have. Ruddy's still got another year on the contract next season. I think given our limited finances, I think it could be better invested elsewhere.
On the note of contracts, I believe Maxine's now in his last 6 months.
Yes, I think that's true, yeah.
Seen that. Wow, that
In
would
the
be
fucking contract, Blues.
I know.
We
I
won't
said this
know.
yesterday, actually.
Well,
Oh, no,
we
won't.
might, but I guarantee you, or very much likely, he'll move on now because it's been too
It'll be
long
the
for
Michael
him.
Morrison thing, won't it?
Yeah.
You can be
Morrison.
spoken to, can't you, in the last 6 months of a contract? Can't you pre-sign with someone?
Yes, I think so. I think that's right. Yeah.
Telling me there's not going to be some championship clubs talking to him already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
it's a
I
worry,
was
isn't it?
speaking about Colin yesterday, and I love Maxime Colin because he's one of those players that, some players can be, from Bakuna you'll get a 9 out of 10 one week, a 5 out of 10 one week, a 7 out of 10 the next week. With Colin, each and every week you're going to get a 7 out of 8 out of 10 every single week without fail. He'll get on with the job. His wages won't be too high because he's just one of those players, as I said, will get on with it. Nothing flary, nothing tricky about him. Players like him are golden for clubs like us. Get on with the job, probably not too high wages, 7, 8 out of 10 every week. We've 100% got to offer Colin a contract if we can do it.
Yeah, we've got to at least try, haven't we? We can't just let him go, can we? Yeah, completely agree. Sticking on a similar topic, we'll come back to some of the transfer ones a bit later. Aaron, or Az, I've met him a couple of times, he's been on the vlog before, says, how much of an impact do you think the takeover collapse has had on the group currently and will continue to have going forwards? Don't know which one of you
Massive.
want to take that on.
Massive. I think just you can feel the general atmosphere of the club's just not been the same. The fan base itself, the atmosphere at St Andrews has been dead the last 32 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I
So,
think it was a Hull fan who was dropping on the vlog and said, like, your atmosphere is just completely dead. It might have been a Blues fan in the one against Borough yesterday as well.
yeah, I think the atmosphere has been poor. I mean, Jamie, do you think you mentioned there that do you think the reason for the poor performances recently is because of the collapse and takeover, or do you think it could be down to injuries and the break, or do you genuinely believe it's just because of the takeover rubbish going on?
I think there's probably a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
And I think especially when your captain's Troy, who's Birmingham through and through, it's going to upset him, which means the squad's going to feel that a bit that the captain's upset about something. The whole squad's going to be down about it. I imagine some of these loan players are here in their head going, well, fuck me, I'm playing for a dying club here, what's going on? And your Maxine Collins and that are looking and going, well, fuck this, I'm jumping ship.
Yeah.
There's no stability again, is there?
Yeah.
No.
We've been saying that for
Or at
ages.
least,
We've got none.
or at least no promise of stability. You know what I mean? Because like it was never nailed on with Richardson and Lopez that they were going to bring in this money, but it was the idea of this was at least keeping people optimistic, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I've said it a few times, but what pains me is the complete lack of progress over the last 7, 8 years. I can't remember. I think we finished below 17th for the last 7 seasons or something.
Roughly about that, yeah.
Honestly, it's unbelievable. Like, that is atrocious. The fact we haven't gone down, but we finished below 17th. It's not as if we've had a 17th, a 12th, a 9th, a 16th, an 18th, a 12th, a 10th.
Yeah.
It is constant lack of progression, and it is we've got to be one of the most depressing clubs to support. And I know other clubs go through torrid times, but I feel other clubs see glimpses of promise every now and then, but with us, it's just constantly depressing, isn't it?
Sticking on that point, actually, Ben Walcroft asks a similar question here. Says, would relegation be a blessing in disguise and or administration? There's a little bit more to that comment there that might have to wait for it to tickle on the bottom because it's a bit of a long one. He just sort of adds his points. You can read it as it goes along.
Yeah.
But I think that's the main question: is would it be good to go down, or would it be administration?
He's spot on. Obviously, as you know, my best friend's a Portsmouth fan, and he's got they've had enough shit shower as it is for the last 10 years. And he said to me that the only way we fixed our club was dropping.
That is a true point, actually, because you think of Portsmouth's regain back to League One. Granted, they haven't got out of League One, but it's a tough division considering the teams that are going down or have been down in that time. Sunderland have been down there. Ipswich are down there at the moment. So are Bolton, if I'm not wrong.
Wigan.
I'm thinking Wigan have been, yes. There's been a lot of tough teams that have still got some fairly decent investment on the way back up. So I think it would be heartbreaking for us to go down because, in it's just like another big defeat for us. Really, it's another loss for us. And as well, we won't bounce back up straight away. I can almost guarantee you that, because the teams that have gone down before have taken good 3-4 years to come back up.
Yeah.
I mean, how long were Sunderland down there? They went down in 2018. They came back up last season. That's a good 4 years, isn't it, in League One? And they've been in the playoffs around there, and losing in the playoffs League One, you know, that must be like so fucking annoying for a big team like Sunderland as well. You know, it's just we have been down into League One before, but never this recently. It's the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken, or a bit not like 90s or sometime around that. As my memory on Blues is a bit vague, or my knowledge on Blues is a bit vague around that time. But yeah,
So I was just gonna say, I think that's a really good question. I think it's one that heavily divides opinion. Some will say it's a good thing. I mean, Jamie, so you think it'd be a good thing?
I just
Basically, your
can't
experience
deal
of
with
knowing.
these absolute bellends in charge anymore. I can't do it. Like, I rather see us. Do I want to see us go down? Of course, I fucking don't. Like, no one wants to see their team get relegated. It's painful. But would you sacrifice being in League One for a couple of seasons and knowing that these owners are gone?
That's the question. That's an interesting question as well. Do they leave if we get relegated?
I think they have no value left in the club if they go down.
It's a tricky one.
I think Richardson gets it for a steal at that point.
Yeah,
I don't know about Richardson though, because it's as well as whether they're going to sell up or whether they're going to be forced out through administration. Because I think if they sell up, it'll be more difficult to attract people than it would be if we were to go into administration, because there's nothing to buy up then, is there? And at the moment, they're having to pay off all of the debt from BSHL in order to get the club, and then pay an extra 25 million in order to get the club as well. So how much is that? It's about 175 million, isn't it? Roughly, that's all, the 150 is an estimate of how much debt we have anyway, or how much debt that BSHL are carrying. So, you know, the only way I think that we are going to get taken over is if we do go into administration. So that's what I'm horribly hoping for in a weird sort of way. Getting relegated, however, I feel like is really disastrous. So we just need to stay in this division. And it always has been, really, since maybe Monk? No, Rowett. As soon as Rowett left, we've been in a state of survival ever since. And we haven't been
completely right.
ever since.
Yeah, I
And I
think...
mean, eat gone.
I was going to say, I wanted to ask this question to you guys, actually, in terms of... I mean, for me, I wouldn't want us to go down this season. I think the points are good, but I think, like you said, Tommy, I think relegation can be disastrous, and it could be a thing where we go down. You're right, we probably won't come straight back up, and it could be a thing where we're in League One for 10 years, and then we're saying, oh, let's go down to League Two and rebuild. So I still think you can rebuild in the same division. We can 100% still rebuild in the Championship. We can still rebuild in League One. But here's my question. If going down meant the owners would walk, so if we go down, the owners will 100% sell up, would you take it? You would?
Yes, I would. Because I could put up with a bit of struggle, knowing... This is the other weird thing, though. It's like, who is going to take us over, and are they going to be as stable as BSHL? I would say yes, but I wouldn't be confident, but I would struggle for a bit in the hope we could come back to the Championship. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a good question. It's really hard to think about. Let us know what you think in the comments down below, actually. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? I really don't know. I'm not confident on one answer, if that makes sense.
There's every chance of administration this season, boys, as well. We could be on point for survival and then just get shafted by 12 points.
Yeah, that is incredibly possible, really, because it's happened to other teams before. It's happened to Derby, if I'm not mistaken.
What a depressing club we are, honestly. What a depressing
Honestly, you know that Amazon Prime that go around and do, obviously, football clubs that have a fucking field day doing an all or nothing with us.
God.
Amazing, that would be amazing.
But
Maybe we should do a
a
documentary.
Imagine, yeah. Let's get
Blues
access to
Focus.
the Blues.
Yeah.
There you go. Blues Focus. Break into BCFC and find out more. But no,
Like I said, if you want real views, give Jack an unlimited camera where he can say what he wants.
Yeah, that is true.
Did you see him in my intro yesterday on the vlog? He was just moaning about the sun being in his eyes. It was making me laugh like that.
That was annoying yesterday, actually. I'm not joking. That was annoying. The sun was in my eyes at times as well.
It was like, it's been there all day. Can it not just move? And my dad's like, it's the universe. What are you talking about, you idiot?
How dare the sun?
Unfiltered
Jack.
How dare it?
Oh man, that'd be funny. Yeah.
Lose Focus Uncensored featuring Jack Kelsall.
Jamie and Jack.
Yeah, that'd be funny, that man. We'll do it at the end of the season, since we will definitely do it if we go out of business, because he will be up for that. At the moment, he's a bit iffy about things. He's careful to what he's saying. But I guarantee you, if we do go into administration, if we go down, then bang on, he'll do it, because he won't have any filter at that point, and he'll have just like complete rage. I think we all will, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to that really quickly to finish off, but I think, although you raised some good points there, Ben raised some good points there. For me, I just don't think relegation's the answer, just because I think we could be in the exact same scenario again. I do think you can rebuild despite being in the same division. I don't think there's any reason why new owners can't come in the Championship and, invest, help us rebuild, or even under these current owners, a few good loans like we've seen over the summer can completely change things. So I don't think relegation's the answer, despite some good points being raised, but maybe it might be a blessing in disguise. We do go down, we are able to rebuild and go straight back up, but it's tricky, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Scary proposition for us, really. Can we just have some rich Arab sheik take us over?
You what? Who?
Like, can we just have like some Man City sheik or something to take us over?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I mean, there was rumours, wasn't it, that there were like was it the Saudi royal family were interested at one point? So it was very rumoured anyway. But yeah, there was possibilities of being interested. I know. I always think people always go for Elon Musk and people like that. So that'd be great to have him as like a proper owner of the club.
Sponsored by Tesla.
I think the thing is with these protests now that might be coming back around, obviously there might be some people who don't want them to happen, and there might be people who do want them to happen, of course. But it's like, what do you achieve in those protests? And we'll talk about this a bit later in another podcast, of course. But if we do the protests, is there any points? Is there any what's the outcome going to be like? Do we achieve anything? Do we get them out this time? What's just quickly your thoughts on that?
It's tricky.
They ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
They've openly said they ain't fucking ain't going anywhere.
I don't think as much as it's great to see people so passionate, and I think it's great when people come together and try make a change for good in that form. That some protests aren't gonna cause these guys to sell the club. That it would have to be something quite big and drastic to make them make that decision. I just don't think some protests are the answer, because as effective as they can be, it hasn't worked before. I don't think it would work again. These guys have made it clear they don't want to sell, and I don't think protesting would change that.
Shame. Yeah, it really is, because it kind of feels like we're powerless completely now, if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We are. We are, and we have been for a long time.
Let's
no, you're right.
If you guys had 50 million right now, would you buy Birmingham City?
50 million?
Yeah.
Or alright, how much are we? Like 32 million, was it? Was it 32
Well, it
million?
was 25
then,
for
then
the...
you're taking on a debt.
That's the thing.
So
you
would
have
you
to
do
pay
it?
that
'Cause I
100.
wouldn't.
No,
If
I
had
wouldn't
200
either.
million, if I had 200 million, I wouldn't buy Birmingham City, because I think in so many cases, I think football clubs are very hard to profit from. I think Simon Jordan has said multiple times, football clubs are extremely difficult to profit from.
Yeah.
And particularly a club like Birmingham City, who have been sinking for years, are in millions of debt. You've got to be very assured in your capabilities to run a business if you want to buy us and turn us around, because I can't see who the hell would want to buy us.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. I'm just going to throw this point out there. Paul Richardson. I'm gonna speak about it because this is my theory. He agreed a fee. He went into the club ready for everything. What he's probably done is, while him and Max have been doing due diligence, has found so much shit and so much debt. He's gone, I will be bankrupt within a year. I will fucking die. Because he's clearly looked at
That was incredibly dramatic.
I will die. Not like his bank account and his business will die.
Yeah,
Oh man, you said it. I was expecting a little bit more after it. He's just like, he's gonna die. Silence.
Die. It pretty much is a fucking death signing for this club.
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah, fucking hell.
I guess
I'm tempted to get my boots on yesterday.
Well, just put them on and just sit in the stadium. just put them on.
Me and Leckers up top.
I was gonna put my boots on. Silence.
Just warms up on the side.
Sometimes, Jan!
People all just looking at him, just going, "Who the fuck is that?"
Who?
I went this as well. So I went the subject top. I'll be like, oh.
Put the right one on, you idiot.
Yeah, he's in the away one.
Yeah, he's in the away shirt and last season's away shirt as well.
I'd just go on the pitch just to slap Hannibal and be like, stop taking short corners.
Just jungle, isn't it?
Oh man.
It's one of them. One of them fucking United players.
Yesterday, actually, when Hannibal took him, I thought they were good, but yeah, the short thing was pissing me off.
Right.
No more short corners.
Yeah, no more short corners. Quickly before we go, we've obviously actually got 2 score predictions that we can predict, obviously, because we've got the next league game against Bristol City away, but we've got in between that the cup game against Forest Green. First of all, just like some very quick opinions on who might start in that game, and then a score prediction, and then a score prediction for Bristol City as well.
Go on, Jamie, you kick us off.
Okay. Right, so the vegans. Tough game, but I just play the kids. Give Neil a run out. Fuck it. Josh Williams, give him a run out.
Do you reckon we'll win if we
Jordan
play all
Graham
the
can
kids?
play. Probably not, but I'd rather give them 90 minutes experience. Do we really want a fucking cut run at the minute?
Good point.
In typical
yeah.
Birmingham City fashion, we'll probably make the 6th fucking round here and then be a relegation dogfight.
It's a good point, yeah. What do you think to that, Zach, before you put your opinions forward?
Yeah, on the Josh Williams thing, I agree. I think he 100%. I think he deserved one yesterday. I tweeted before the game. There's no
I saw
reason
that.
why. No one can look at that Jordan Graham performance against Hull and say he deserved to start yesterday, because he didn't, and he'll know that. He'll know he wasn't great against Hull. He'll know he wasn't great yesterday. So 100% Williams deserved to start yesterday. Deserves to start against Forest Green. Tate Campbell, I really liked in pre-season.
Yeah.
Why not give
Nico
him a
back
go?
yet?
Nico Gordon, not sure. Maybe not. But G-Cock, chuck him in goal, or Etheridge, because he's been on the bench a lot. Give some of these a few fringe players, mix with a few first team players. That's your team for Forest Green. I'd like a cup run though. I'm very because I missed out on 2011 kind of. Or I wasn't a Blues fan back then. I'd love a cup run. So
Yeah.
we batter them.
I'd just like, if we do get through, a good away day, like out at Chelsea or Man United or one of those games. I was hoping it for this round, but we obviously got Forest Green, which is a bit disappointing. No offence to
I think
Forest
Forest
Green.
Green's a good. You're going, aren't you, Tommy?
Mm-hmm.
See, I think that's quite a good away day. That is Forest Green. I think that's.
I have been
You're gonna
before
love it.
actually. I have been before actually for the pre-season game in 2008-09. Gary O'Connor scored on that day. Let me know if you actually went to that game, because I'm interested to know about that, because it was one of the very first games I actually went to when I was very young. I don't know how old I'd have been.
You're still in nappies then, surely.
You are in nappies. No, my brother might have been actually. That is genuinely true actually, because he'd have been about 2. Yeah,
wow.
2 years old then.
There you go.
Little Jack all the way down there, still swearing.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. Even though as soon as I heard that they didn't have like a roof on the away stand, then I was a bit about that. But I'm sure it'll be a good away day. It'll be fun, providing it doesn't start hailing at some point. That would be hilarious if it did. I'd be fucking. I'd just be.
That vegan and dual saviours.
Oh, fuck off. I love how this is going to become like a running joke that I'm a vegan now.
No, not you. I'm just them. I read something the other day. I don't know how true it is. Someone tried to tell me that you can't play for Forest Green Rovers if you're a meat eater.
No.
I was like, I'm sure that's like not a thing.
No, it's not.
That's a lie.
Yeah, it's not.
Like,
Ronaldo would like to play for you, but sadly he's not a vegan, so he can't.
Yeah,
No,
that's not
he
gonna
can't.
happen, no. Yeah, I mean, I respect it.
reckon,
You know, it's very interesting what a football club can do. But yeah, I'm not a vegan. I'm a vegetarian. Just before people start jumping on the bandwagon.
Flexitarian.
Yeah, flexitarian. I'm not a flexitarian. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat.
Forest Green, I'll go 2-0 Blues. And Bristol City. Are you going to Bristol City, Tommy?
I think so. I might check with that one because it is
Are you, Jamie?
fair journey down.
I'm very torn if I can get a ticket or not. I could probably get a ticket because my mate's going to get one. I might message him actually and say I can get one now.
Okay.
So I might try and go. Because Bristol's always been a decent ground for us.
Yeah, we
True,
always do
true.
well against Bristol City, don't we? I think I'm going to go... for God's sake. I'm going to go 1-1. That's what I'm going.
Okay, Jamie.
Anything but a fucking replay against Forest Green Rovers. Do not
Good
draw
point.
this game. If it is 1-1 in the 90th minute, Etheridge just boot it in your own net. We do not need more games.
I genuinely agree with that, to be honest. I don't know if you get do you get extra money to accommodate away fans for those cup games? I might be talking bollocks there, but I feel like I remember something like that. But
No, but
yeah,
with our thin squad.
And if there is no accommodation for away fans, then you might as well boot it in your own net and let them go through because it's better for them in some ways as well, isn't it? But yeah, I don't want to replay back at the Blues. Definitely not.
But I do think we'll probably 2-0.
Okay.
I think we'll just calmly do it. I think Lecco scores. I think he gets his start and he earns. In the last few games, you can't argue that he's deserved a goal.
Mm-hmm.
He's been our most creative player, which I can't believe I'm saying.
Yeah.
I genuinely, Zach, you weren't on the pod, but last time we did a pod, I literally said, I've slated Lecco that much, I now really want him to do well, and I actually like him.
I did hear the pod. I did hear at the start where you said, unfortunately, Zach's not on. Or fortunately. Cheers, fellas. Pretty appreciate it.
I didn't say that.
You've got to quote me. You've got to quote me fully here. I said, unfortunately, we don't have Zach here tonight. Or fortunately, depending on where you stand with Zach. You know, that's on them. It's not on me.
Fair enough. Tommy out of context there. That's my bad.
Oh man.
Out of context, Kelso.
My days. Well, I'm back.
He's back.
In terms of Bristol, 2-1 Blues. I think we shithouse. We love away at Bristol. We'll just shithouse it somehow.
You're right.
Longello.
I'm going to be very pessimistic and think we're going to lose both of them. Only because when we hit these runs of form, we just stay on them for ages. And when it comes to playing like a really good team, all of a sudden, I don't know when I don't know whether we've got somebody good coming up. I think we've got Watford or Norwich or somebody like that coming up.
Watford's in March.
We have Bristol City away, Preston home, Norwich away.
Yeah, I could see us winning at Norwich. That's the weird thing, because I could probably see us losing these next 2 or 3 games. Maybe getting the points at Preston against Preston. But I could see us beating Norwich in a weird sort of way, though, because we are that sort of club. We go on those runs sometimes, you know what I mean? It's I think it was in the Monk season where we lost 5 on the bounce, and then we played Leeds who were top of the table and we won 1-0. So it's we do just do that sometimes. It's odd.
We always do it. Another thing on the note I want to say, because I can't believe I was actually reading this last night, but I think I actually read someone saying, is it time for Eustace to go? Fuck off.
Where do you
The man is performing a minor miracle.
So reactionary, honestly. This is the thing. I hate a team that constantly cycles through managers. We are a team that constantly cycle through managers. Give him a chance.
I know.
He's been doing superbly. He's his first bad run. This is his first bad run since being at the club.
Yes.
Give the man a chance.
I didn't see it online. It was the fans fucking behind me. He turned around, he went, well, that's 3 in a row. Is it time? And I was like...
Well, what did he say? Is it time to go, out for him?
Yeah.
Go home?
No, he was on about Eustace.
What a moron. Honestly.
I love Birmingham City, but our fan base drives me.
I always get on well with the Blues fans.
You can't be saying that when the Blues fan base is listening to this. Jamie's just called
you know what?
everyone out listening to this.
Genuinely, anyone who's watching this, if you think Eustace needs to leave, you can fuck off.
Yeah, I agree with that. Whether you dislike the whole fan base, though.
No, I don't dislike the whole fan base, but I dislike.
That's what you said, though.
I dislike it when people have stupid opinions.
No, you didn't say that, though. You didn't say that.
Oh, I don't care. No, fuck you, man.
You've got to quote yourself correctly. You can't misquote yourself, otherwise people are going to go, well, hang on a minute, let's scroll back a little bit here. It's like, I do not like the Blues fan base. There you go. Well, that's fucking going in the comment section then, isn't it?
At me.
I love all you listeners. I appreciate
I value you a lot, yeah. Jamie clearly doesn't.
He hates you. He hates
I don't value people have stupid opinions.
He didn't say that, though. You got to say what you meant.
It was implied.
Implied, yeah. Read between the lines. It's your fault, listeners. It's all your fault. Oh, funny.
You're all a disgrace.
This club just hurt me.
He's in a bad mood, everybody. And we're all in a bad mood, let's face it. You are. You're not in a good mood, let's be honest. Like, we've just lost 3 on the bounce. Who's in a good mood at the moment?
Yeah, that is true.
Every team has a shit run of form.
Yes.
We always have it after Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very notoriously, actually, yeah.
It's always the second half of the season, isn't it, where things go pear-shaped, and it's happening again.
We need to get to 62 points very quickly.
Well, hopefully we can.
And I'm only saying 62 because 12-point administration.
Yeah, I mean, a mid-table finish is what I thought halfway through the season we'd get. Yeah, it could be very possible though. That's the thing, because we had a 9-point deduction in 2019, so there's no point they might do it again.
If we start next season on like -20.
Oh, God, it'd just be embarrassing, yeah. Because it would take us full. What? How many did you say? -20. Yeah, it'd take us 6 wins to be on at least plus, wouldn't it? 7. That's it. Yeah. God, that would just be awful, wouldn't it? I honestly, I'm terrible with maths. Don't even come at me with that.
Quick math.
I'll let you off. Yeah, but yeah, it would take us 7 wins. Just not even think about it. Just don't think about it.
Let's try and be positive. Let's try and just turn this around. I just hope we make some signings somehow.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm reading that Georgial's going for 15 mil,
yes.
Yeah, true.
I think that 7 mil thing was very realistic from that guy, because the board ain't going to give us all of it, but they might give us half of it.
Well, if the board are anything to go by, they might just nick it all for themselves and then just keep on paying off the debt and then pay up.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Ridiculous.
It's a bit of a difficult situation we find ourselves in, but we keep right on. We keep on turning up to the games. We keep on going to the away games, everything. We keep on supporting the team. And yeah, it's been a tough couple of weeks really as a Blues fan. 2023 has not got off to a great start at all. But yeah, we'll carry on. We'll keep right on, like I said. But yeah, this has been.
We mean to go on.
We'll end that here then, because it's been a good chat, guys. It's been a very good first chat on this new Look to the Blues Focus podcast. Remember to subscribe to us at Blues Focus TV. You can see all the socials if you're watching this on YouTube. You can also follow us on Twitter at Blues Focus and at Blues Focus Pod, and also you can find us on Instagram at Blues_Focus and Blues Focus Pod. If you've got any questions for next week's show, please get them in. We'll be doing like a hashtag with it. We're not too sure what that hashtag will be, but get your questions in with the hashtag. You can tweet it at us as well. It's been a great
Blues fans.
Yeah, that might be the hashtag for next week. Yeah. Jamie Lawler hates Blues fans.
You know what? Whatever. At me. At me. Oh. Jamie Lawler 1234. At me on Twitter.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot. Oh bugger! I forgot to put everybody's ats on here. I cocked up on the. I know. I cocked up on the. I don't know whether you guys noticed, but I leave like a little Blues Focus badge in the top right-hand corner. I completely forgot to put it in for most of the vlog yesterday, so my apologies on that. It was crap. Also, I don't know whether the times were right on the intro as well. Somebody might be able to correct me on that. But yeah, anyway. This has been the Blues Focus podcast with Zach and Jamie. I am getting that right in the future. I'm never calling you Jack and Zany ever again. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Those who are the true listeners to this podcast, obviously me and Zach very much appreciate. Not Jamie, of course.
Love you all.
What am I talking about? Of course he loves you guys. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. It's been a very good one. We'll be back next week after the Forest Green game. And yeah, keep right on.